Good morning and welcome to Live Line Demo. We're glad to be here this morning. Now you may have noticed the equipment behind me, which is usually located 40 or 50 feet up on our poles. We've lowered that down for you today so that you can get a better look at what's about to take place. Now hopefully you've never seen what we're about to show you today, because we're going to show you what it looks like when things go wrong. There's going to be a couple arcs, some flashes, and a couple loud explosions. And what we hope to accomplish today is to raise a safety awareness in you, so that the next time as a first responder, maybe you're responding to an incident involving our facilities, maybe you're just a homeowner out cleaning the leaves out of your gutter with an aluminum ladder, or just happen to come across a down power line after a storm, that you might step back and reflect on what you're about to see here today and keep your distance from our facilities and stay safe. Now, how do we get electricity? We use coal, natural gas, solar, nuclear, even wind energy today to generate electricity and put it out on our lines. Now, our lines can be somewhat compared to our national highway system. We have transmission lines that we use to transport power long distances, across state lines, and even across our country, much like you would get on an interstate and take a vacation across the country. Now, out of our substations, we have three-phase lines. These lines are just like our state highways, very busy, heavily loaded, a lot of industrial and commercial customers. Off the three-phase lines, we have single-phase lines. These single-phase lines serve some commercial customers, but mostly residential customers, just like our small county highways, right down to your doorstep. We also have underground facilities. A lot of our subdivisions now are completely underground. And before you do any digging, we suggest that you call a nationwide number, 811, and they'll help you locate these facilities. It's not always easy to tell where a power line is buried, and we'll show you what it looks like when you dig into one of those today. Let me go over the components of our trailer with you today. Outside, we have a 15,000 watt generator. It's much like our power plants you see across the nation today, generating power. We're bringing that into our system via a cord, which is like a transmission line. We're bringing it up into our first transformer you see on the pole here. This serves as our substation today. We're going to bring 120 volts into this transformer and step it up into 7,200 volts. It's going to come out of the transformer onto the first span of wire. You can see that he's pointing to the dead end insulators, which hold the wire up between the poles. The power is going to come into the middle pole, into this device he's pointing to called a recloser, which operates much the same way a breaker does in your house. The power is going to flow out of it and up onto the last span of wire. Again, you can see the dead end insulators, which hold the wire up between the poles. Above the recloser, we have a bypass cutout. It allows us to bypass the recloser, take it out of service for maintenance and for other purposes. The power will flow over to the last pole into the transformer cutout, which holds a fuse for the protection of the transformer underneath it. The power flows down into the transformer. It's converted into 120 volts, and you can see the light mounted underneath it, which represents a light in your house, say. You also notice the red and green lights on our panels. The green light tells us that our system is getting power. The red light tells us that our overhead lines are energized at 7,200 volts. Now, I have to warn you, don't try this at home. We're trained professionals. We have years of work experience. We're highly trained in safety each and every day. You may have noticed that the linemen here today are wearing their personal protective equipment, their hard hats, safety glasses, overshoes. We're wearing flame retardant clothing. You may have noticed that the two linemen that are doing the presentations today, that they also have their insulated protective equipment on, which consists of rubber gloves, rubber sleeves. They also have leather gloves on over the rubber gloves just to protect those. They have fiberglass shotgun sticks, which are non-conductive, which will help them accomplish their tasks at hand today. We also use a device called the V-Watch, which is a personal device that we wear as he's about to demonstrate. It gives us an audible warning when we come in close proximity to an energized line. Many times we're out in the woods patrolling our lines, and it's very easy to stumble across a down line without recognizing it's there. Now, this is a staged demo. It's very predictable what's about to happen here today. Out in the field, it's very different. There's much higher voltages, much higher current flows, and it's very unpredictable what can happen. I'd like to give you a crew introduction. With us today is Greg Ratliff, 33 years of experience with the company. Tim McCoy, with 30 years of experience. Calvin Williams, with 26 years of experience with the company. And myself, Philip Hicks, with 27 years with the company. Now on to our demo. Over the years, we've gone out on trouble calls when the power has been off. We found all kinds of things that have taken your power out. Our demo today, we have a squirrel. The squirrel's going to contact the line and take the fuse out. That's the fuse blowing. Your power's been interrupted now. This is when you would give us a call. We'd come out, assess the situation, make our repairs, and hopefully restore your service in a timely manner. The next demonstration we have is a reclosure. When we have a problem on our line, the reclosure acts much like a breaker does in your house. Let's say there's a tree that falls through our line downstream of this reclosure. Should the tree fall through the line and not damage the line, the reclosure will turn the power off one time and back on. That's when you'll see the light blink. If the tree should go through the line, damage the line, or stay in contact with the line, the reclosure will operate 3 times and it will turn the power off. This is when we get a call from you. We'd come out, assess the situation, make our repairs, and hopefully restore your service in a timely manner. Now, I know what some of you were thinking. You've seen a squirrel get under our lines, and you said, well, I've seen birds sitting on your line, and they don't seem to be harmed. Well, as long as the bird is sitting on our line, the power is not flowing through the bird. Should the bird also reach over and make contact with something of a different potential, this is when the bird would interrupt your service. Let's say you're outside cleaning your gutters with an aluminum ladder, and you make contact with our 7200 volt line. This is what it might look like. 7200 volts. And if you should have a hold of that ladder at that time, that current is going to flow through your body. Our ladder, with the wheel on the bottom of it, becomes a vehicle. From time to time, we've responded to auto accidents where we found electrical lines laying on cars. This is what it might look like if your car would come in contact with a 7200 volt line. Notice the wheel at the bottom. And as you can imagine, a coal truck with 18 wheels, that can be a very expensive repair. Should you be in an accident involving a power line, the safest place to be, if you can remain there, is in the vehicle until we get there to make sure that the lines are de-energized. Now, we spend millions of dollars as a company each year to make sure that our right-of-ways are maintained well, but sometimes we have customers that won't let us cut their trees. This is what it looks like when you get a tree in one of our 7200 volt lines. And should you have a hold of that tree, as you can imagine, that current would be flowing through your body. Over the years, we've gone out, responded, unfortunately, to cases of trouble where people have made contact with aluminum antennas, with poles used to clean pools out. You want to direct your attention to the antenna now as it makes contact with a 7200 volt line. And again, if you have a hold of that, that current is going to pass right through your body. Now, electricity travels at 186,000 miles per second. As you can imagine, by the time you saw the flash, it would be too late. Now, we do a lot of work with fire departments. We respond to house fires to remove the services. A lot of misconceptions among firemen are that, well, my rubber footwear will protect me. This is a fireman's boot. And you can imagine the consequences as that current passes through your body. Now, we all have families, and a lot of us have children. One of the greatest joys in our lives. We want to show you a few common items here, one of which is a party balloon. And you'll notice that the light comes on when the circuit is made up. Electricity is flowing through the party balloon. During the spring, during windy part of the season, a lot of us like to get out and fly kites. Under the right conditions, an ordinary common cotton kite string can become conductive. As you can see, the light comes on when the circuit is made up. Again, a tree limb. I want to demonstrate to you how conductive it is. When you find a down power line or come across one, the old myth is, well, I could take a piece of wood and move it. Don't try it. Piece of fire hose. After fire hoses have been drugged through fires, they're wet and contaminated, you can see they can become conductive. Now, as I said, a lot of our subdivisions anymore are completely underground. And they're not always easy to detect where they are, but there is a nationwide number, 811, that you can call, and they'll get some help to help you locate them. This is what it might look like should you dig into one of our 7,200 volt underground lines. And again, that would be deadly. And we have a wiener here. Looks just like a finger on a hand. This is what it might look like should human flesh make contact with a 7,200 volt line. Here we have a tube simply filled with air. As you can see, the tube filled full of air is non-conductive. The light does not come on. The next tube is filled with common tap water. As you can see, the circuit is made up, current's flowing through the water. Now, there's a lot of misconceptions out there. Well, I'll just wear my leather gloves. They'll give me enough protection. As you can see here, almost no protection at all. The slightest pinhole in these rubber gloves can become fatal to us. That concludes our demonstration. I'd like to talk to you about one other thing. When the power goes off, generators have become a fact of life for many. During large outages, hurricanes down south, a lot of times we find that customers will turn their generators on. We need to make sure that those generators are not connected into our system. If you think about what we've done here today, we've been backfeeding this system with a generator. If your generator is not hooked up properly, you could be doing the same thing the next time you hook your generator up. And as you can see, it becomes deadly to anyone that would be working on that line. With that, we hope that the next time you come in close proximity with our facilities, that you might step back and reflect on what you've seen here today. On behalf of AEP, this is Philip Hicks saying thank you and be safe.